I will call the October meeting to order. You want to take roll call, please?
Yes. Art's here. Jamie.
Yes.
Dave. Deb's absent and Bart's absent.
Okay. Okay, consent agenda. Has everyone looked over the documents on the consent agenda?
Yes.
Any questions, any discussions? I would entertain a motion then to
accept the
consent as presented. Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
I need a
Aye.
writing utensil.
Open that top drawer right there.
Okay. And did you hear Art? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next on the agenda is reports.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to the console thing last.
Or is that your seat? Man, you're supposed to sign where I'm at this time.
There was, I just wanted to get you guys a little information on something that occurred. There was a motor vehicle accident outside of Crocker over this last weekend, and it took out the power. Well, the power to the repeater site on Ripple Road. So what happens is that runs on battery for so long. And when we originally put that stuff out there, they had a generator that powered the tower. So our batteries would only have to run if the generator failed.
Okay, that's the electric company. It has the
Water.
water.
The
Okay.
water department.
Okay.
And it's there at that water tower. And so the way it alerts the dispatchers to know if that's going weak on those batteries, it makes like a really weird tone after the transmission. And it started doing that. And so we moved everybody over to Fire Direct. So what that means is we do everything off of this tower. So that's our backup if we lose that repeater or either repeater site. And then if something happens that the reception is bad out and about, then we move everybody over to Mostwind. We all have Mostwind. So that's what we ended up doing. Jerry had came over, went out there and checked the batteries, and they did deplete themselves. And anytime they deplete themselves down that low, you have to replace them. So we went ahead and put 2 new batteries out there, as well as get another, I guess they had, whoever our point of contact was, has retired. So we got a new point of contact if we need to get in there after hours, because they won't just give us keys because that's also their business. And they know they don't have a generator there anymore. So, of course, my question is what happens when they lose power to that? And so they don't really worry about it for a couple of days because they can get by that long. But if not, then they bring in a generator on a trailer to hook it up.
Is that why they asked to conserve water?
Did they? So yeah, that was probably why. So anyhow, we have a backup, and I don't think it would be worth having to pay lots of money to put a generator out there to auto start, because it would have to be something that would auto start. But we do have a
Oh, you're
backup
left-handed
plan
as well.
that we back up
But yeah, it
to
looks like-
the, and so it did take a little bit more steps of explaining. We go over that in training, but when people, it's not, you don't use it all the time. You kind of have to walk people through the steps. So I had Ryan on the training side type up a step-by-step procedure on how to do that, how to use our decoder, and our if CAD failure. So we have a backup step policy to anything that we would lose. We're getting ready to go ahead. I have talked to A&W, which is the only person when we come back to go over the console bids, that on our call taking, where we're taking those 2 positions that are laptops in our backup PSAP downstairs so we can use those remotely. I asked them about getting ready to go ahead. We have it in this year's budget to replace one of those with a desktop, and then next year's budget I have in there to replace the other. They said they'll save money if we do it all at one time. They'll go ahead and bill us for one this year and bill us the next after the first of next year. But the labor part, they'll cut down to next to none if they get the bid too, that they do it all at the same time. So, and it cut like almost $2,000 off on labor. So that was well worth it. So I told him I would get back to him on getting getting those components ordered. We're going to order the PCs ourselves because we can go through CDW and get them cheaper than them ordering them and then it going third party because, everybody wants to mark up a little bit.
Okay.
On our grants, our GIS grant is been completed. As far as Geocom is concerned, now it's up to us to go through and proof it. And then once I sign off on it, it'll be complete. And then we'll be live with having to do the updates with the state. At least once a quarter. So I have not signed off on it yet because Jerry's still going through all the layers with the fine tooth comb to make sure if we find anything that's not correct or something that we need fixed, then he'll submit it back. And then, but once the project's completed, I'll sign off on it. So that's where we're off now. I've not signed off on it yet. On the ESInet, all of our equipment is installed. They have not done our training because they will wait till they switch us over live to do the training on the Nevo backup system. But we're still waiting on Brightspeed to come in and do our secondary circuit. So what it is we run primarily on Show Me fiber. Brightspeed fiber is the secondary, and then we go to cellular is the backup to that, and then the Nebo, which is just a phone system that we can unplug and plug anywhere, and it'll do the anti-alley, everything over a screen if our call taking equipment's down. So they did finally, because this all has to go through in digital on the order, because on the grant it is through in digital. And so they finally got back to in digital with a date. And then they said late October is when they're going to be able to come get that hooked up. And then because they've got so many people that got this grant, they're having to schedule out on go lives. And so, and they're phase one, then you're phase two. Well, he said they won't do anything over Thanksgiving or the Christmas holidays because if something would go south, people take vacation during that time. So he said we might be able to squeeze in the middle of December, but realistically, it'll probably be the first of the year. Well, if that happens, they'll also have to put in an extension with the state of Missouri because that grant is supposed to be completed by the end of the year. And there's a lot of them out there. So I would foresee, I talked to Scott Kaysen before he left, and he said there's a lot of counties that are going to probably have to get extensions. So that's where we're at on the ESInet. I did go ahead and just because I know sometimes it takes a little bit of time for people, especially our departments, if they're volunteer, to get with folks to find out about our advisory committee. And so I went ahead and sent emails out. I sent out to, on the police side, Dixon Police was the first agency, Crocker Fire, and Dixon Ambulance. The only person I have heard back from to date is Crocker Fire. And he said they just really didn't have anybody available and mentioned maybe using Russell from Tri-County. And I explained to him that it's going alphabetically. That way we give everybody an opportunity and said, and it doesn't just have to be you as the chief if you have somebody in your agency. And so I haven't heard back from him as that, but I gave everybody to November the 12th to respond to me. So I give them time to go through everything. Then if not, I'll go to the second down on the list until we get a answer from somebody. Our river mile markers kind of at a standstill right now. The river's so low. We went from all the rain to all low.
Too high to too
Yeah, and so they did go out and get 2 installed, but they spent most of their time trying to drag up over places because it was so low. And with using Dixon ambulance boat, it is a larger boat. We for sure don't want to tear it up. And so we're just waiting until we get better
Till it rains.
Scenario.
It'll rain too much.
Yeah, and then we're high again. It's just like, and then of course too, we doing it around our work schedule, so you have to kind of make everything fall into where it needs to be.
Interesting.
I did on new get the ordinance from the city of Dixon. I talked to Charlie Joe, which is in charge of the OEM, and they're still working because there have been some people on vacation of getting theirs on that new tornado siren for Waynesville that they got in that grant. And we always do it for all of them because it's part of our scope as 911 is to sound the tornado sirens. But we always just make sure we have a MOU so they know and we know what to expect. So this is from Dixon. We pretty much just copied it off of our other ones that we have and just saying that we're responsible for activating the city's outdoor warning sirens, that they have to make sure that they're working. They have to make sure they're sounding. It's just we're activating them only on tornado warnings. And that's when we get notified by the weather service and that they could ask us to test them to shut them on and off. So it's very basic. It's the same as all the others that we have. I do have a copy of it here if you guys want to pass it around, look at it, and then pass it. Once you vote on it, sign it, I'll send it back to them. I'll go over our call numbers while they're looking at that. Our call numbers for the month of September 2025 was 2,365. September of 2024 was 2,288. So we're, right there close. And it looks like our telemarketers are finally getting the hint to quit calling us 10-digit rollover lines. But other than that, everything looks close to being the same on our call numbers. Nothing.
Have we got on a bill call list for those?
Yes.
Try to get into the for?
Yeah, and I think what it does is, and it's not the actual 911 trunk lines. So we have rollover lines. If a trunk line is, all of our trunk lines get busy, we have 2 10-digit numbers. It's also what our neighboring counties transfer lines over, so it can come through direct instead of having to go through the voice attendant. So it still serves as a 911 emergency line and rings as that so the dispatchers know to answer it immediately. So I think robots go in there and they just search numbers until they find it, and then it just automatically, because it's never a person, it's always a recording.
Right.
But I call in and block the number, make sure we put all of our admin lines and everything on that no call. But I think some of those are even overseas and there's no way to track.
There's no way to prosecute it.
Mm-hmm. But it's just kind of hit and miss, and it's not a huge amount. Most of the time it's Medicaid. Sometimes it's, one time we got one that's a cruise ship siren boat tag going off, telling us it's time to do a cruise. So it's usually an voice recording. It's never a person where we can talk to them. So we'll let them finish looking at that, and then I'll go ahead and pass out copies of, this is just, you guys have already seen it, but I brought copies just in case anybody want to look at it. That was our radio RFP and standards that we sent out for radio bids. We got one back filled.
We only got one back, right? After.
Mhm. There's a copy.
I got a copy.
Oh, you did? You printed yours?
I printed.
Okay.
I read it. I didn't print it though.
Yeah, it was several pages, and they sent these already, so you guys I'll keep the original. So I went through it and made notes of some questions that I had. It will do the patching, which was one of the things that you've been talking with the agencies that we dispatched for and would like to see us do. It will allow us to stack our tones for a faster paging. It will allow us to add an interface to CAD. Of course, there is a cost to that because it's an interface. I did not have it added at this time because it also, you have to pay on the CAD side to interface. So I reached out to Motorola to see how much it would cost. And so basically what happens is with a CAD interface, if once the call comes in and the dispatcher or telecommunicator puts a call nature and an address in there, it validates against the mapping and shows in a zone what responders supposed to go. Then it tells the dispatcher who to tone out what departments and if they dispatch by trucks. Well, when you do an interface, it will go ahead and select those departments on the radio. And once you hit OK, it'll go ahead and set the tones off. So they're not have to manually do that. So you're not accidentally hitting the wrong one or whatever the case may be. So I spoke to Motorola about it, and they said it would have to be developed, and it's like a $46,000 interface.
One time.
One time. I also had talked to them about doing a CAD to CAD interface with Phelps County, our surrounding counties, to where if we take a county, a rollover call for another county, that we can push all that information straight from our CAD to their CAD, so they're not having to ask the call taker all that information again. And that was almost a $53,000 interface on the Motorola side. And then that's not counting maintenance. And I said, that's crazy, because I looked at a whole new CAD system at the conference, and you're talking.
Oh, this is the actual spec.
300,000. You're that's almost more than a quarter of what that was. So I'm just kind of pushing that on the back burner for now, but it will be set up and able to do that if we ever decide to go that route. It also allows us to interchange on the consolette for most
That
ones,
was this.
That's just
to be able to select the different talk groups from the
This is the actual
console
big
and not
place.
having to have a separate radio for each talk group.
Okay.
And it also will allow us to unlock the doors from the console like we do now. So if somebody comes to the back door of the lobby, like, and we talk to them, we can let them in without having to get up and go. And it can be used remotely. I also asked about being able to use one headset, because if you don't add a certain jack, you have to have a headset for your radio and a headset for call taking. Well, it's kind of hard to switch back and forth headsets. So they can use the jack to do it. So it met all those things in there. I went through and just made myself notes of everything. And when looking at all of it, we budgeted $256,683.56. That was the number they gave us last year when I asked them rough figures. Of course, it's been a year, so things are going to go up just
Went up
a
20 grand.
little more. But I thought we should go ahead and just do 3 years of maintenance instead of the 4 that they quoted on there, to give us a total of 5, because it comes with 1 year. But if we only do 3-year
Oh, I see.
maintenance, then it puts us in the same scope of our
What page is that on?
and
The last
The
page
last
of the
page.
quote, they've got 4 additional years.
Yeah, I
of
see 4
maintenance.
years, but you just want to change that to 3, you said?
yes, and then that'll only put us 138.04 more than what we budgeted, which is doable.
But what's the reasoning behind, I know you're trying to say, get the money down, but we only need 3 years of maintenance though, or?
No,
It'd be 4
we
years
have
total.
maintenance. We always have maintenance. This just locks it in at that price.
Oh,
So we did that on our call taking equipment too. We locked it in because it normally goes up anywhere from 5 to 7% a year. So if you lock it in and pay for it now, you've locked it in at that price for that many years. So it wouldn't go into until 2030 is when you would have to start paying it every year.
Mhm.
Outside of this. If we did just, we paid for the additional 3 years, but it gives us 4 because it comes with 1 year maintenance. And it's not doing anything to our budget because it's only $138 more than rather the $17,910 more.
Okay. While we're on the bids, are there any questions for Michelle about the equipment or anything?
This is the only quote you got back.
so
The only
nobody
quote,
wanted to,
I had a person, because I brought it up at the 911 conference. You sit in a room with all the vendors and you go around the thing and it talks to every director and you say what you're doing in your center, what's, where a struggle might need help and what you're doing. And one of the things I said is we're getting ready to go to bid for radio consoles. And I forget the name of the company. I have it written down in my office, but they were the ones that was doing the radio work for St. Robert. they came up to me in the vendor hall and said, "Hey, I heard that you were doing that. We would like to place a bid." And I said, "Well, I'm getting ready to put it out for bid. Here's my business card. Get a hold of me and I will, send you the specs." And I went ahead and published it and I never did hear from them. So
So what do you think's the reasonings behind, no one returning any bids? Is it just that we're too small to mess with?
well, I think a lot of it is because of a lot of the location of where we're at. There's not one that's sitting right here. Back in the day, L&B Electronics was in Eldon. They usually did everybody around here. But I
Well,
think,
your travel expenses makes it.
yeah. And Warner, which is who we have now, they've gotten so big. The guy that originally owned it, Les, he has passed it down to his son. He's older and he's gotten dementia real bad. And they bought out a lot of companies in Illinois and Texas. And they're shorthanded on technicians. And I think this is just too small of something for them to have to worry about doing. And also the response time, if we have something to go wrong,
Well,
to
they
get
can't
down
do that.
here, they don't want to have to send somebody down here.
What's the company in Jeff City?
That's this A&W.
Oh, that's A and
But
W
it starts, it's not actual Jeff City, it's a E.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird name. I didn't even know that town existed.
Yeah, I didn't either. But they have 2 or 3 offices, but that's their
Do
main
you know
one.
how long they've been in business?
A long time.
Long time.
And I went to Marion County, which is Mike Kendall. He's been a director longer than I have. He was also the MoApco Monina president for years. He was in it along with when RD and then more. I went up, and that's how I originally got brought on to this company because he uses them, and he was telling me how one time he had something go wrong, and the gentleman, the technician, his name's Caleb, was getting ready to actually go to a wedding, and he dropped everything he'd done and made sure he got down there and got them fixed and done. And we have used A&W for call taking, and it's been wonderful working with Caleb. Now Mike is the main guy over the radio, but Caleb helps. But they've been really good to work with.
And how much did you say these go up each year generally?
Anywhere 5 to
5 to
7%.
7%,
5 to 7.
which is a bit higher than inflation rate. It seems a little.
Well, that's what I'm.
And that's about on all
how
the
much are we
maintenances.
earning on our money right now. I mean, is it? We're not going to be earning more than 5. I'm sure, maybe just a tad over. So it won't be any beneficial to.
Well, I don't think there's a lot of competition with these guys.
No.
Prices down here.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And not only that, I guess nerdy might be the word, but you have to really be into this kind of stuff to do this kind of,
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
No, it was
it's
the
just
money.
not
for
the
me. I
average.
didn't know
Yeah.
if prepaying the 17 was more than leaving it in our account and then just do it yearly. If it's
I wrote that all out, and I
Yeah.
think,
it's going to be 6 in one hand, half
Yeah.
dozen in the other.
Yeah.
Truly.
and also depending in within those 4 years, what
Yeah.
happens
Right.
with finances.
But you say the city of St. Robert uses these guys too, right?
No, City of St. Robert used the one that I talked to at the conference.
Oh, the wouldn't. Yeah, okay.
Conference.
I'm just curious who else, because they, being that they're close to Jeff City, I don't know if are they taking it in state communications or anything like that. Or curious who else
The
they
state
use.
uses Motorola.
Okay.
But there's several of them that use A&W. Then there's another one out of Springfield. A lot of them were using Jonathan Ayers. I forget what the name of his company is. He used to be the OEM manager in Laclede County, then went to Greene County, and then started his own business. But I know recently, I think Waynesville Rural was using them and just is looking to switch from them. So is PCAD, because they were just having a hard time getting him to
Right,
work
get
on
somebody down
anything
here.
because he's just swamped. Like
we
I said,
can't have downtime.
no. So the biggest issue with any of them is you get involved with them, and then their technicians either get offered better money somewhere else and leave, and then they get shorthanded or retire or something like that. Because with Warner, the guy that we originally had as our technician passed away.
Mm.
He had cancer, and the next one left to left the company completely to go somewhere else. And then the third one went to work for Zetron
Mm.
company directly. So, and I
Yeah.
think that's because of the pass down in management. They just weren't happy there. Yeah. But with them being in business as long as they are and doing several 911 centers, I think they know the importance. They're just doing now, Washington County is going through from the old type microwave system to a simulcast system. And that's what they've been doing now. So I know there's several agencies out there that use them. And even when they were here doing our install for our call taking system, that's when we had that bad windstorm come through. Do you remember? And we had one of our antennas that was leaning. And Warner was, because none of those companies have their own tower crew. They contract that out because of the liability. And so I got hold of Warner, and the person they used was in another state. But just because they were here and heard me talking about it, they got a hold of their tower crew and had them down here that afternoon. And I thought that was pretty impressive that they cared enough to step up and help us out when they didn't have to. So, but if we get this, since we have it in this year's budget, if we get this passed, I'll reach out to him today to go ahead and get the equipment ordered so we can get billed out on this budget as well. I think at this point it's going to be our best option. And Zetron, the actual console, Zetron Max has been around a long time. And it's one of the few that outside of Motorola that works with most of them.
Would have been nice to have competition, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see at least a couple more bids.
Yeah.
If, like I said, if the market's that small,
Yeah.
like I said, maybe we're just too small to mess with.
Well, and a lot of it too is, remember, Motorola is a huge company and they're in business of going out and buying out all these other console businesses. That's what they did with Spillman when we bought the
Yeah,
CAD.
they're cornering the market
Right.
trying to.
They go out and buy it all out, and that way they have pretty much monopoly. And like on CAD, they have 3 different CAD systems they can offer, all the way from P1 down to little mom and pop centers. So you have different, different options, but you're still paying Motorola cost.
okay. Well, with that being said, I would entertain a motion to accept the bid as presented with the 3-year maintenance.
3 additional maintenance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Okay. And then before I forget, let's go back to the MOU with the city of Dixon for the,
So I can keep this.
Yeah,
yes.
all those that say copy in if you want that too. I just put it in.
Okay.
Here's the original request.
Keep all these together, so when we get audited.
Okay, so is there any questions on the City of Dixon MOU activation of outdoor warnings?
No, I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
And I need a
Just
second.
bit of this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay,
And I do have one contract update we need to talk about in closed.
okay. Okay, so we do have a need to go into closed session per Missouri statutes 610-021, and it would be under section 1 for legal. May I have a motion?
Make a motion.
There's nothing that's going to have a decision
Okay.
on it when we come out.
Okay, and vote.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Also, before we go into close, just to get this other stuff, November the 13th will be our next meeting. Is everybody good with that? So I just like to bring that up. And I will have on the agenda for the next meeting our budget review.
Okay.
November, what time you said? November 13th?
November the 13th, yes.
Yeah, you're talking stuff I never know. I never
You just
know
go
the
day by
before.
day.
I live day by day. It's a terrible
Yeah, it's
thing.
me. I wake up. What have I got today?
Yeah. I never know what my day is going to bring. It always changes.
Mass chaos.
Yes. It's a good thing I'm not too OCD about planning because I go nuts.
Oh, I would too. Yeah, my plans. If I had plans, they'd change.
There's
Weather warning.
no
Sirens.
planning.
Thank you.
have a little structure. I wouldn't know what to do with it.
I just go with flow too.
Did we get that signed? Did you guys get it
I
back to me?
didn't sign anything.
I didn't sign any. What did we
There was
sign?
Still have it?
There was just
You
one
have it.
signature. We figured it was your
Yeah.
signature that's needed.
I'm gonna take it home for safety. We've never seen it again.
I have a folder that's got all of our
You guys
resolutions,
just-
ordinances, and all of our MOUs in it. So I'll send them a copy of it back. And then I'll
Still,
Oh, okay, but yeah, you're still holding out for that, right?
I think I got everything I needed.
Okay, because right now with the shutdown, those sites are. you
Yeah,
can't get
still,
anything
yeah, I
back.
know you can't get
So
it.
it's everything.
I got everything I
Okay.
needed. I found it.
Okay, where's that? I need to sign anything on the
Bid.
big bid
No, not until the,
until it comes in.
Mhm. and if they do, I'll just send it to you. And actually, I think last time they didn't have us sign anything. I think that was only a Brightspeed thing.
Okay.
Oh, just so you guys know too, the next meeting, you guys will be asked to judge the dispatch competition. They're doing their door decoration.
Oh,
So
Oh.
after the meeting, if you guys
Important
don't,
stuff.
if you
Yeah.
don't mind, just stay by after the meeting and just go in and I'll have the doors labeled 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Mhm.
And they did that by shift. So just a little team bonding thing they wanted to do.
well,
So
that's good.
Okay. We
I think
Good
we're adjourned.